Hey everyone, welcome back to Nick Mehta's Story Channel. I'm Nick, and today we're talking about a crucial first step in your online journey: domain names. Whether you're launching a business, sharing your passion, or just want your own little corner of the internet, a domain name is your address in the digital world. It's how people find you, remember you, and it's a big part of building your online brand. Now you might be thinking, Nick, this sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about domain names in a way that's easy to understand, even if you're a complete beginner. We'll cover what a domain name is, why it's so important, and most importantly, how to get one for yourself. So if you're ready to take that first step and make your mark online, grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's jump right in. Okay, so what exactly is a domain name? Imagine the internet like a giant city, right? And in this city, every website needs an address so people can find it. That's exactly what a domain name is. It's the address of your website on the internet. Just like you might have a street address like 123 Main Street, a website might have an address like google.com or yourbusinessname.com. When someone types your domain name into a web browser like Chrome or Safari, it tells the internet where to find your website and all its files. Think of it like this. You're sending a letter and the domain name is like the address on the envelope. Without the right address, the letter won't reach its destination, and without the right domain name, people won't be able to find your website. Now, a domain name is made up of two main parts: the name itself, which is the unique part that you choose, and the domain extension like .com, .org, or .net. We'll talk more about extensions later, but for now, just know that they help categorize websites. For example, .com is usually used for commercial business, .org is for organizations, and .net is for network-related websites. Now that you understand what a domain name is, let's talk about how to choose the right one for you. This is where it gets fun. Your domain name is like your online identity, so you want to make sure it's a good one. First and foremost, it needs to be easy to remember. Think about it. You want people to be able to easily type in your domain name without having to second-guess themselves. Keep it short and sweet if you can. A shorter domain name is easier to remember and less likely to be misspelled. If your business name is long, try using an abbreviation or a shortened version. And speaking of your business name, if you can, try to incorporate it into your domain name. This helps with brand recognition and makes it easier for people to find you online. Now here's a pro tip. Think about your target audience. What kind of domain name would resonate with them? What are they searching for online? For example, if you're starting a food blog, you might want to include words like recipes, food, or cooking in your domain name. And here's another important tip. Make it relevant to your website's content. If your domain name reflects what your website is about, people will have a better idea of what to expect when they visit. It also helps with search engine optimization, or SEO, which we'll talk about in another video. Finally, don't be afraid to get creative. Brainstorm different ideas, play around with words, and see what you can come up with. Remember, your domain name is an extension of your brand, so make it something you're proud of. All right, now that you've got your creative juices flowing and you're brainstorming some awesome domain names, let's talk about domain extensions. Remember those, the .com, .org, .net we talked about earlier? Choosing the right extension is just as important as the domain name itself. The most popular extension by far is .com. It's the most recognized and trusted extension globally, and it's usually the go-to choice for businesses. If you're looking to build a global brand, .com is the way to go. But don't worry if your desired .com domain is taken. There are plenty of other great options. For organizations, non-profits, or charities, .org is a great choice. It's a well-respected extension that conveys trust and credibility. If your organization is focused on a specific country, you can also use a country code extension like IN for India, UK for the United Kingdom, or .ca for Canada. Now, if you're in the tech industry, you might want to consider Tech. It's a newer extension that's becoming increasingly popular for startups and tech companies. And if you're setting up an online store, Shop is a great way to let people know exactly what your website is about. Here's the thing. While it's great to have options, try to stick with the most common extensions if you can. People are used to typing in .com, so if you have a less common extension, they might accidentally type in .com and end up on a completely different website. So you've come up with the perfect domain name and the ideal extension. Now it's time to see if it's available. This is where domain registrars come in. Domain registrars are like real estate agents for the internet. They help you find and register domain names. There are tons of domain registrars out there, but some of the most popular ones include GoDaddy, Namecheap, and Google Domains. Head over to their websites and type in your desired domain name. They'll tell you if it's available or if someone else has already registered it. If your dream domain is taken, don't worry. Try brainstorming some variations or consider using a different domain extension. Once you've found an available domain name, it's time to register it. This is like signing the lease for your online space. The registration process is usually pretty straightforward. You'll need to create an account with the domain registrar, provide your contact information, and choose a registration period, which is usually 1 year at a time. Oh, and here's an important tip. Enable privacy protection. This keeps your personal contact information, like your phone number and email address, hidden from the public domain database. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind and to avoid spam. Congratulations, you've officially registered your domain name. Now it's time to link it to your hosting provider. Think of hosting as the actual land that your website sits on. Your domain name is the address and hosting is the physical space. If you haven't already, you'll need to choose a hosting provider. There are many different hosting providers out there, each with its own set of features and pricing plans. Some popular options include Bluehost, HostGator, and SiteGround. Once you've chosen a hosting provider, you'll need to find your domain's DNS settings. DNS stands for Domain Name System, and it's basically the phone book of the internet. It translates domain names into IP addresses which computers use to communicate with each other. Your hosting provider will give you 2 DNS servers which look something like this: ns1.yourhostingprovider.com and ns2.yourhostingprovider.com. You'll need to copy these DNS servers and paste them into your domain registrar's settings. This tells the internet where to find your website's files, which are stored on your hosting account. Now, this might sound a bit technical, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it seems. Most domain registrars and hosting providers have step-by-step guides to walk you through the process. And if you get stuck, don't hesitate to reach out to their customer support teams. They're there to help. And that's it. You've just taken a major step in establishing your online presence. Remember, your domain name is more than just a web address. It's your digital storefront, your online identity, and a key ingredient in building a successful online presence. Now that you have your domain, it's time to start building your website or online platform. Whether it's a blog, a business website, or an e-commerce store, your domain name is your starting point. Keep creating engaging content, connect with your audience, and watch your online presence flourish. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Nick Mehta's story channel for more tips and tricks on navigating the digital world. And that's it. Owning a domain is your first step to building a strong online presence. Need help with domain registration or setting up your website? Reach out to us at the details below. Text overlay with contact details and a call to action mobile plus 91 730 400 and 10 6326. Email nick1946shinbg@gmail.com. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more tips on building your online empire. Outro music and end screen with subscribe and like buttons.